This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Mark Martin. A Supreme Court decision means good news for dreamers, those illegal immigrants brought here as children by their parents. It affects a temporary permit program for them called DACA. Heather Sells has more on that and the president's plan to build a border wall.
The Supreme Court decision means that the president cannot end the DACA program for dreamers on March 5th. That buys them and Congress some time.
You know, we tried to get it moved quickly because we'd like to help DACA. I think everybody in this room wants to help with DACA. But the Supreme Court just ruled that it has to go through the normal channels.
The White House believes that DACA is unlawful. President Trump has argued that President Obama exceeded his executive authority when he started the program. DACA allows dreamers to apply for temporary permits that give them the ability to stay in the U.S. so they can study and work. Dreamers like Daniela and Andrea Gonzalez. Andrea works in social media and Daniela is getting her master's degree. Both have lived here since childhood and rely on DACA.
I think they don't understand how pressing it is, that it's literally our lives at stake.
The Supreme Court decision bumps the case back to the lower courts, likely going to the Ninth Circuit first. The president criticized that liberal-leaning court Monday. Now that the president's plan to end the program on March 5th is blocked, lawmakers may be tempted to put off deciding on DACA once again. If they do take action, the court case will become moot. And The Hill is now reporting that Republican senators plan to put a DACA fix in next month's government funding bill. Meanwhile, the president is seeking $18 million to move forward with plans to beef up security along the border and build a wall. He'll visit California in the next few weeks to check out wall prototypes near San Diego. If the president can get a win on the wall and a win on DACA, he'll be able to demonstrate to some of his key constituents and independent voters that he can get the job done. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Here's a look at some of the other big headlines we're following in the CBN newsroom. Parts of Europe are colder than the Arctic Circle. Forecasters say warm temperatures near the North Pole are causing the wacky effect. Snow and high winds are hitting parts of Britain, and a rare snowstorm whipped through Rome on Monday. Meanwhile, snow and hail dropped in parts of California. Thousands of teachers will gather at the West Virginia State Capitol demanding pay raises. This is day 5 of a statewide teacher walkout. Teachers and unions want better pay and benefits. Around 20,000 teachers and 13,000 employees have been on strike. Schools have been closed since last Thursday. The Church of the Holy Sepulcher will remain closed indefinitely. It was closed to protest Israel's plan to tax Christian property. The church is believed to be the place where Jesus was crucified and resurrected. Thousands of people visit the church each year. And you can find more on these stories at cbnnews.com. A new study shows hate crimes against Jews are hitting record levels in the United States. According to a report by the Anti-Defamation League, harassment, threats, and vandalism targeting Jews are up 57%. The incidents included 163 bomb threats on Jewish centers, 952 acts of vandalism at cemeteries, 1,105 harassment incidents, and 19 cases of physical assault. The civil rights organization says these are the second highest numbers in 40 years. CBN News has closely followed the controversial practice known as pay to slay, where the Palestinian government rewards terrorists for attacking Israel. Now we have accounts of how the Palestinian Authority brutally tortures its own citizens who try to save lives by preventing such attacks. As CBN Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell reports, dozens of Palestinian abuse victims are breaking their silence.
What do you call a man who saves the lives of innocent men, women, and children? A hero? Not if you're a Palestinian preventing terror attacks and saving the lives of Jewish Israelis and others.
I know this isn't right to go and kill people on the street. This isn't right to blow up buses.
But that's not the view of the Palestinian Authority, who condemn this man and others as collaborators for helping Israel. Some say thousands of Palestinians underwent torture, even death, for acts the rest of the world would call heroic. That's why an Israeli law firm here is representing 52 accused collaborators and suing the Palestinian Authority for compensation.
We have the privilege to represent those Arabs who were tortured, to give a little bit of comfort and try to protect those people.
The violence took off in the 1990s after the signing of the Oslo Accords between Israel and the PLO. That's what's called the peace process today.
Terror was rampant in Israel. There weren't just a few Palestinians that were helping Israel to fight terrorism.
The Oslo Accords required the Palestinian Authority to fight terror. But according to attorney Barak Kedem, that didn't happen.
The Palestinian Authority that had made a deal with Israel in the Oslo Accords carried out actions against those collaborators that were trying to prevent terror. They captured them. They imprisoned them in conditions that were very hard. They tortured them, a torture that was hell, to get a confession from them that they helped Israel.
The stories are hideous.
They took his little sister, a teenager, brought her to jail, and threatened him, if you don't confess, we'll rape your sister. They had no red lines. So he confessed. But it didn't help. She was murdered. What she went through until she died, we don't know. It's really like ISIS.
This man, who will call Baber to protect his identity, was taken in for questioning.
They entered the room and asked, "When did you start working for the Israeli Shabak?" I said, "I don't work for the Israelis."
This was just one kind of torture he endured.
They tied your hands and feet and head. They beat you from every direction until you fainted, cursing from the morning until the night. You're just a dog. In the end, you are going to die, and we will throw you on the garbage. We'll do this and this and this. We will rape you.
According to Baber, he faced no official charges or had his day in court. His parents couldn't visit, and the Red Cross was apparently never notified of his confinement.
Every day for 7 months, I was under interrogation from night until morning. Beatings, burning my hands, they used everything. Finally, they stuck a copper wire up my private parts and they lit it on fire.
After 7 long months, he signed a blank piece of paper that served as a confession. He then worked in the prison for more than 2 years until his parents raised enough money to buy his freedom. Mahber is another accused collaborator.
People came to my house, 3 men. One of them said, "Excuse me, can you come with us to our internal security of the Palestinian Authority?" I said, "Fine." I couldn't tell them no. The minute I walked in their door, maybe 40 men fell on me and started beating me to death.
When they stopped, they left him bruised, bleeding, and alone.
In the evening, he came to me, and the interrogator said to me, "I'm Hitler. You know what Hitler did to the Jews?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Like Hitler did to the Jews, I am going to do to you, collaborators."
The beatings and torture went on for a year and a half. Then in 2002, at the height of the Second Intifada, Israel began Operation Defensive Shield in the Palestinian areas. The guards ran away, and Mahber was freed. So he returned to his village, his wife, and children.
After 2 or 3 days, they came to my village with masks and weapons, and they started to shoot at my house. And all the village saw this. They wanted to take me out and kill me. But God didn't want me to die at the moment, so I argued with them and escaped to the state of Israel.
Freedom hasn't been easy, however, for these falsely accused Palestinians. Many don't have Israeli citizenship or medical insurance. Others can't work because of physical injuries and emotional trauma. Plus, they're separated from their families.
The state has a big obligation to these people, and the time has come that we pay them back their reward.
Fortunately, they now have hope. More than 15 years after the torture ended, their lawyers won a suit, leading to a 2,000-page verdict from the judge, one of the longest in Israel's history. Initially, it provides the victims about $420,000, enough to cover medical evaluations. The next move, determining the extent of their injuries and claiming an estimated millions of dollars in damages from the Palestinian Authority. That money could be deducted from the $200 million in tax money that Israel collects on behalf of the PA each month.
The Palestinians will not give it to us. They are giving money to terrorists to kill our brothers and sisters.
And that's widely known as pay to slay. As we've reported, each year the PA doles out some $300 million in compensation, much of it American tax dollars, to terrorists who attack Israelis.
Your tax money goes to terror. Instead of that, you need at least to get to support this cause by helping the people who prevent terror. We are talking about people who risk their life to prevent suicide bombers to bomb inside buses with children and women. So those are heroes.
Attorney Nati Rome says the story is even more shocking. Rome says of the more than 230 human rights organizations they notified, 99% replied they have no means to help.
Where is the UN? Where is the EU? Where is everybody who would like to speak about human rights in the Middle East? This is the real story.
Only one group took the challenge.
We think that dealing with human rights of Palestinians is our obligation, no matter what our political view is.
Mary Shalem, CEO of the Institute for Zionist Strategies, says helping these men is what being human is all about.
We have an explanation why the other human rights organization didn't want to take care of it. They didn't want to deal with suing the Palestinian Authority. And the other reason, we are dealing with collaborators who helped the security of Israel.
They've taken the first steps in a long battle. Now they hope Israel and the West will join them in standing behind these unsung heroes. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And to learn more about ending pay to slave, visit cbnnews.com. Coming up, Christians across America are packing in the pews and also packing on the pounds. See what's being done to help the faithful shed the fat when we return. Welcome back. She's best known for starring in the 90s film Clueless. Stacy Dash, who is now a conservative commentator, has officially launched her bid for Congress in California. Time reports a filing on the Federal Election Commission website shows Dash filed paperwork to run as a Republican in the 44th Congressional District. That district includes the cities of Compton, Linwood, and Carson in Los Angeles County. Democratic Representative Nanette Berrigan holds the House seat Dash hopes to win. Time reports that in 2012, Berrigan helped in Barack Obama's re-election campaign in Florida. Turning now to health news. If you ever go to church events, you know there's often plenty of food. And statistics show obesity is particularly rampant among churchgoers. But the news isn't all bad. Lori Johnson tells us about a program designed to help churches spread the good news without expanding their waistlines.
Overall, the church does a pretty good job avoiding unhealthy things like smoking, alcohol, drugs, and promiscuity, but misses the mark when it comes to obesity.
Research shows people who begin attending church in their 20s are more likely to become obese by middle age than those who don't go to church. This especially troubled Dr. and Christian Daniel Amen.
I actually prayed about it because I went to my own church and saw them serving hot dogs, donuts, ice cream, bacon, sausage. And I'm like, they're giving you all this food to kill you early. Save them, then kill them.
He feels it's high time the church deals with its weight problem.
You know, it's just not okay when your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit for churches to basically poison you with low-quality food and think, well, that's what we've always done, so it's okay.
As a brain imaging specialist, Dr. Amen published 2 studies showing as weight increases, the brain actually shrinks. It's widely known that obesity lowers quality of life, adds millions to healthcare costs, and can lead to an early grave. Nationwide, the South leads the pack.
And that's also where there are more evangelical Christian churches. And I'm not okay with that. You know, the Bible Belt widening.
With that in mind, Dr. Amen co-developed a church-based weight loss program known as the Daniel Plan. While the classes last 6 weeks, the diet is intended as a lifelong discipline.
I feel so good now. You know, I swim a mile a day. I was in a wheelchair at one time. I couldn't keep my balance, but now look at me.
75-year-old Phyllis Neal joined the Daniel Plan at her Yorktown, Virginia church. She suffered from pain, depression, and couldn't sleep due to a number of health issues.
Vicodin and Ambien and Prozac, and I was just on so much stuff.
Phyllis ultimately lost 65 pounds, stopped taking medications, felt happy, and began sleeping like a baby. She attributes much of her success to the faith element of the plan.
And God just took control. And He has just blessed my life so much.
Her 75-year-old husband, Dennis, got on board too.
I lost 65 pounds just by eating God's food.
Dennis and Phyllis believe so much in the program that they now teach others.
One of the things I tell people in our classes is if God came down today and said, look, I want you to do this task for me, and then you tell him that you're not physically fit to do it because you're overweight, that doesn't work.
The Neals emphasize the importance of breaking free from processed foods because of ingredients like MSG, industrialized oils, and high fructose corn syrup.
Diabetes, cancer, all of it's related to sugar. And we got to get that out of our system. We've been hijacked by the food industry.
Instead of packaged items, Phyllis fills their kitchen with natural whole foods, free of chemicals and sweeteners. Chicken strips, cut up vegetables, boiled eggs, beans, cheese, and nuts.
You'll see that I keep fruit available. My grandchildren come in the house. They don't ask for candy here. They go over and get a piece of fruit, and their parents are so happy for them.
Drinking plenty of water helps us manage our weight because, believe it or not, sometimes our brain tricks us into thinking we're hungry when we're actually just thirsty.
People adhering to the Daniel Plan exercise regularly and attend support group meetings. So while obesity continues to plague the church, Christians nationwide are shedding millions of pounds thanks to the Daniel Plan, named after the Bible hero whose diet reflected his commitment to God. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Still ahead, it's a church like you've never seen before. We'll show you the story behind this bright house of worship when we return. A former church in Washington, D.C. has been transformed into a work of art, literally. CBN's Ben Kennedy takes us inside the Technicolor Church in the nation's capital.
It's one building that's hard to miss.
You can see it from, 395 from the highway. I mean, that highway sees 175,000 cars a day.
Odds are that drive-by audience will lead to a new attention for this former church's new life as a true work of art. A hidden gem in the heart of Washington, D.C.
The ability to revive that and still keep the same themes of a church, which is, really a community center.
Built in 1886, Friendship Baptist Church outgrew the chapel, put up the property for sale, and moved to a new building just down the street. For years, it remained vacant. That is, until 2012, when an idea blossomed.
These are cherry blossoms, right? These are cherry blossoms, and we are inside.
Allowing it to transform into a space for the arts and culture community. Right now, we're on the balcony of what used to be a church, and to put things into perspective, take a look. This is where the congregation used to sit. Imagine some rows of pews, the pastor up front. It's now a very large space for activities. Even the piano has been fine-tuned into modern art. We caught up with Atlanta-based artist Alex Brewer, who spent nearly a month just painting the outside of 700 Delaware Avenue Southwest. Was it a challenge to paint something this large, a church?
Yeah, because it was a three-dimensional piece of architecture, I wanted to kind of give it a sculptural feel by wrapping the entire thing and by continuing the patterns and the colors.
There isn't an area that wasn't touched with paint or some type of creative content or character. And that's something that no other space can really offer.
And that creativity attracts tourists inside to take a closer look.
You're just visiting, or? Oh yeah, okay, well get your walk on. All right, please.
For 131 years, people have been walking inside this church to pray, worship, and now can still appreciate creation.
To be able to share that story of not just what we've done, but what the church congregation before us has done.
Ben Kennedy, CBN News, Washington.
Wow, that is one bright church. A lot of talent displayed there. We'll be right back with more of CBN NewsWatch. Stay with us. Superbook is winning children's hearts for the Lord all across Romania. CBN International has partnered with Alpha Omega TV to make Superbook available on many platforms in Romania. Currently is broadcasting seasons 1 and 2 on over 35 affiliate stations in the Romanian language. And there have also been 7 large-scale live Superbook events with hundreds of kids in attendance. 800 children so far have professed their faith in Christ after seeing the gospel presentation online. It's wonderful. Well, that's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com and tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com or talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.